Hi, this is Yvette with VanDerBrink Auctions, and we are in Titusville, Florida, looking at a preview of the Bob Koepke Collection Auction. This auction is going to be April 11th at 9 a.m. Bob was born in Gary, Indiana, and he was born to a farmer. His grandfather said, "You're not going to farm, you're going to college." So he graduated from Indiana University with a degree in accounting. When he was in high school, he bought his first hot rod, a Model A, from his brother for 25 bucks, and he built that car up and drove it all the way through college. After college, he moved to Florida, got married, and worked at NASA and Boeing as an accountant, retired early, and all through that whole time when down here in Florida, NASCAR was building, the hot rod scene was big with Daytona Beach, and he was all in, and had a extreme desire for high-performance Chevrolet parts and building hot rods. He was friends with Smokey Yunick and some of the other big guys down in this area. When Dave's dad passed away last November of 14, he hadn't been down here for 10 years. He'd come down, meet his dad. His dad was just a wonderful man. Everybody loved him, but he wouldn't let anybody in on the place. And after the funeral and Dave and the guys came out here, they realized why. This has been cleared. When Dave got here, you could not even enter the property. It was completely overgrown. There were cars everywhere under tarps, and they've taken chainsaws and literally pushed their way in to this hot rod horde. Everywhere in the house was just a path that was totally in the bathroom, in the bedroom, everywhere, just covered with parts, and they were cars hung from the ceilings in the basement. It was everywhere. But we're going to give you a walkthrough. Dave's an only child, and he said that the best times growing up was with his dad, and they did hot rods together and traveled all over. They did a lot of camping trips in a 57 Chevy up in the Smoky Mountains. They always had a tow bar with them, and usually were bringing back a treasure. Inside this collection, there's about 7 55, 6, and 7 Nomad wagons. He loved the Tri-Fives. Bought a lot of stuff with Eckler's and Classic Chevy International. These are all projects and parts cars. There are 4 57 Chevy convertibles in here, along with a 55 convertible that is cut. There is a huge amount of 57 and Tri-Five parts in this auction, along with early Ford V8 parts. As you can see, we're going to be cleaning these cars up and taking better pictures, but this is just how they've gotten them out. They were everywhere on the property. There's parts laying everywhere. You can see where the guys have chainsawed and made paths. But you're going to want to be on time. We're going to start at 9 a.m. The vehicles are going to be first, and we'll take you over to the early Ford stuff where the auction's going to be, and show you that. But like, for example, here's a tarped box. I looked inside, and it's got 57 Chevy interior and other 57 Chevy parts. A lot of these cars some of them are pretty solid. It'd be great to build. Actually, all of them will be buildable, but some of them are for parts. And like this 57 wagon, I mean, those are deck lids for 57 Chevys, and we'll sort those out and sell them separately. We're making our way down to the garage here, and you could not even get into this building. It was packed to the door, and the guys have moved everything out of the way and got in. Let's see what's inside there. But I mean, everywhere you look, there's parts. This is a 35 Chevy Coupe that had a tree fall on it during a hurricane. Rims. But inside this, buried underneath all of the boxes and everything, here is a 1973 Ford Pantera. It has 3,800 original miles, has the original Arriva Goodyear tires. It is loose. All the parts are there to complete it. Bob did a little touch-up on some of the paint on the front. It is British Racing Green and never got the project finished. You know, during the day he was an accountant and had his suit on, but at night he'd come home, put the jeans, the shades, flip back the hair, and was a hot rodder. But for those days when he wanted to wear his suits and work, he'd drive a '78 Ferrari. And this car runs and drives and is all original. That's original paint. He had quite a different variety of tastes. This is a 1958 Porsche Coupe, very rare car, and started at a restoration. And the body is solid, the motor is loose, and we have the parts to put it back together. The interior was done, but has mildew. Like I said, you couldn't even get in here. It was stacked to the brim. But everywhere you look, and the attic is full of 57 Chevy parts. In this corner is big block Chevrolet parts, 396, 427s, 302s. There's also a lot of early V8 motors and parts. All the stuff you need to build hot rods, that's what he was doing. There's also a large amount of fuel-injected Corvette parts. In the corner, you know, that Model A that his dad had bought in high school, when Dave got in here, he found it. And it was disassembled, but it's in the corner. And that'll be going back to Indiana, and he's going to build that car for his collection. Dave's a hot rodder and a machinist. And it was pretty cool for him to find that in the corner. He also there were 35 Ford Roadsters out here, and those were his dad's favorite. And one of his dad's cars is also going back to Indiana. We're going to sell the other one, and that'll be built. He's got 2 girls. He's going to tell them about their grandpa. But again, you could not even walk in here. Same with the house. I went in there, just paths. There's parts everywhere. But we're going to take you over to where the auction site is, and we'll show you those coupes, 3-window coupes, roadsters, and early Ford stuff, along with a whole room of aluminum high performance. If you can't come to the auction, you can bid on the cars and selected lot numbers of parts online at proxybid.com, but you are going to want to be at the auction. If you're looking for parts, you will need to be in person and bid on those parts. Again, this is in Titusville, Florida, April 11th at 9 a.m. And for more information, check the website at VanDerBrink Auctions with an S.com. You can follow Dave on his journey of going through his dad's stuff by following him on Facebook and Instagram. And his name is Mad Torker on Instagram. There's a lot of really, really good pictures. Also like us on Facebook at VanDerBrink Auctions LLC, and we'll also be posting lots of videos and pictures. And Dave Koepke is also on Facebook, and you can follow both of us for progress and updates on this auction. So we'll head over to the warehouse and show you the early Ford parts. This is Yvette VanDerBrink, and we are looking at more of the Koepke Collection Auction in Titusville, Florida for April 9th. And we're going to go in the warehouse and show you some of the other stuff here. The collection has an assortment of cars and parts to build in just a huge amount, along with Tri-Five, Nomads, and more. This is a 32 Ford Roadster, and it's ready for somebody to build. Back in the corner is an old hot rod. That is a 32. And that was bought by them in 1979. And of course, 2 34 Ford 3-window coupes. Barn fresh and ready to go. This is a 36, I believe, sedan delivery, and also one's inside's enough to build more. But amazing selection of cars and hot rods. There's also a lot of cowls and sections and more to bring in for the auction. These are frames. Like I said, there's a lot of bodies to build. The guys over here are sorting intakes. We have a lot of GM high performance, small block Ford, high performance Ford, and even an intake signed by Smokey Unique. These are headlights, 30s, early Fords, a lot of sheet metal, along with more bodies. In the corner is rims. In here we have a lot of valve covers, grills, and we're going to put some of these grills with the cars and hang fenders and put hoods on some of those hot rods. Again, this is only a small amount. We have more to bring to the auction site, and some very unique things in here. A lot of blowers, blower intakes, setups. There's a pile of aftermarket, Offenheiser, Edelbrock, and more. There's our signature of the famous Smokey Unique. Other pieces from his auction garage. We have Muncie transmissions and other things that we'll be bringing over, but just really cool pieces.
Not yet. Just not feeling very useful.
And this is Dave, and
Hi.
And he is sorting stuff, and this was his dad's stuff, and it's been a labor of love, hasn't it?
Oh yeah.
And like we had mentioned earlier, is a lot of this hadn't really seen daylight for 35 years.
Yeah.
And yep, and so we're getting it put together, and you know, just wanted to go to good homes and build hot rods. And you get to bring a couple of them home for memories.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. That Model A we found in the corner, you guys found it in the corner.
Yeah.
And then a 35 Roadster.
35 Roadster, yeah.
Isn't this something? Have you ever seen anything like this? Well, you were here, but I mean, since then.
It's amazing the stuff he's collected, you know, and it's so diverse. You know, you got everything here. Yeah, Chevrolet and Ford, even a little bit of Mopar stuff, but you like anything fast.
That's right. Well, thanks, Dave.
Thanks.
And again, this is April 11th at 9 a.m. Be on time. We're going to start off with selling vehicles and then move into your parts to build your hot rods. And again, just an enormous amount of Tri-Five, Ford, early Ford stuff. And if you can't come to the auction, a lot of these vehicles will all be online along with a number of parts at praxibid.com. For updates, follow Dave on Facebook and on Instagram. And also VanDerBrink Auctions LLC at Facebook and our website. And we hope to see you here in Titusville, Florida. Bidders on site will have a more selection of parts. Online will only be limited number of parts and the vehicles. So you're going to want to make that venture to Titusville, Florida. If you have any other questions, you can give us a holler at 605-201-7005. If you're looking to have an auction, we'd love to work for you. And see you in Titusville, Florida.